Welcome back to our last day of trails on Drummond Island. Our destination today? A little trail called Nemesis or Halfrish Hill. Why is it called that? I still have no idea, but it's sure an amusing name. That last morning, I took my cup of hot tea out to enjoy the sunrise over Lake Huron. But that didn't last very long. You can't see the colors as well. Blowing away mosquitoes because there's like 10 million of them here this morning. But it's beautiful out, so it's hard for me to want to sit back at the tent. But hey, look, you just saw that. Beautiful. But don't come when the mosquitoes are here. Oh my gosh, they're biting through everything. Bill had wisely stayed back in the gazelle where he was eating breakfast and practicing that perfect coffee pour. Or so he thought. While looking at the maps that morning before driving off, I noticed two different places that were marked with a tower. I got really excited because I really like to climb towers and look at the views. So off we went in search of these two towers. Unfortunately, one of those towers has long since been demolished, though it remains on the map. And the other one, well, if it's there, it's on private property and we couldn't get to it. So instead, we diverted back to the entrance to Nemesis and Halfrish Hill. The Nemesis Trail stretches a little over 2 miles from the staging area on South Maxton Road all the way down to where it intersects with the Walker Trail. And the trail crosses several other ATV and ORV trails, so make sure to have your map handy. This first section of trail is rough and rocky, but nothing really technical. Just don't be surprised when these rocks knock both you and your rig around a little bit. I believe today is going to be a rough road day. Yesterday was a little smoother.
Probably like, great, here we go again.
Yeah. What was Bill's biggest concern about driving through all this rough and rocky road? Why, the photographer, of course. But maybe not the way you would think.
Make sure you're holding on, like throw you out there. And not to fall out of my hood, damn it.
Gosh, Bill, thanks for that. You sure know how to make a woman feel loved. You might notice our Australian Shepherd Roo poking her nose out that side window from time to time. She's not really a big fan of off-roading, though she puts up with it pretty darn well. And she really doesn't care for these rocky and rough sections. So today, I was trying to pay just a little bit more attention to her as I was filming. Honestly, this is about the grumpiest that she ever gets. And it became pretty clear in a second why. Just too many blood-sucking insects, of course. From the staging area on South Maxton Road, it's about 0.7 miles down the Nemesis Trail to your first significant right-hand turn, just past this tree where the arrow is. And it's at this point where the trail suddenly starts getting narrower and narrower and drives into the depths of the forest. Nemesis may be a short trail, but in its 2 miles, expect to encounter a tight, twisting trail filled with rocks, hills, and mud. This small set of rock steps, for example, is only a hint of what is yet to come. In this little muddy section with all the varying rocks underneath, why, when it's wet and this is filled with water, this particular obstacle is extremely typical of the trails found on Drummond Island. In some of the tighter sections of this trail, if you pay attention, you'll notice the scars from other vehicles who got just a little too close to the trees. Drummond Island was fairly dry when we were visiting, despite the number of mosquitoes you may see. So keep in mind that when the water levels are higher, all of these rocks are hidden underneath that dark chocolate mud, just lurking there, waiting to catch some unwary traveler. Don't let it be you. Soon after driving through several of those mud holes, you'll come across a split in the trail as it goes up a steeper hill. And in this particular case, I have no idea which particular route is the easier route, because both of them were rough and rocky. After a moment's thought, Bill opted to take this route on the right-hand side. But don't get too complacent once you get over these boulders and get to a smoother patch in the road, because a bigger challenge is still up the hill. Now, Bill had actually been watching YouTube videos that very morning about this trail, and he remembered a video about this spot.
You're on a root on the back.
So when he got a little caught up here on a root and a rock, he knew exactly what he needed to do to fix it. The trail past that small set of rocky stairs down the back side of the hill, it's generally easy, just a little rough and rocky, but travels through a beautiful woods. Once you drive down this rough and rocky road, the bottom of the incline, you'll find the intersection with the main bypass route through this area. This is the route you would take if you want to avoid all those tight, twisty obstacles that you just drove through. So if you turn left and almost an immediate right, you'll find yourself back on the Level 5 Nemesis Trail. And it's here where you'll find the namesake obstacle on this trail, Moo's Nemesis, also known as Halfrish Hill.
Are you going to try it?
I might go over there and look at the line. But I can try this if I can squeak between them rocks.
Now there does appear to be an easier line to the right here, but I should have known as I was walking up that hill to see whether Bill was going to check out those lines that he had no intention of taking anything but that hard line, because, well, that's just what Bill does. And something else Bill does when he takes those hard lines, he usually makes them look easy. Once you've conquered Moo's Nemesis, you're not quite done with this trail. You still have to drive down the back side of that hill. And don't expect it to just be another drive on a Forest Service road. There are plenty of mud holes and small obstacles here. And after that, there are even longer mud holes. This last mud hole was something pretty special and different. Special how? Well, if you pay attention, you'll notice as he's driving through that there's a completely spoogey, nasty mess hanging out on top of this water. See it coming toward you? And it smelled atrocious. Why do you think I'm standing on a rock here instead of walking through the water? Soon after this, the Moo's Nemesis Trail dead ends onto the Walker Trail, named after trail boss Steve Walker. And if you want to see the Walker Trail, well, you're just going to have to come back next time. But it'll probably look a little like this. And we couldn't leave without driving through Connor's Hole one last time. But after that, all bets are off on whether this Jeep is going to make it home or not. Oh my goodness gracious.
How could I not have felt that?
Thanks for watching, and until you come back next time, go out and find your own adventure.